All right, I'm in camp, night one. Got the machine ready, got the truck ready, including my bedroom back there. Everything out of it. I'm ready to do this thing. It's snowing, a little flurry. I don't know how much of it's gonna stick come tomorrow morning, but we'll see. About 35, 37 degrees, something like that. So this should be an interesting week. One thing you can count on, it'll be cold, that's for sure. So put some gear to the test before my Alaska trip. All right, well, I'll check in later. See ya. All right, it is 6:30 in the morning. First day of the hunt, and I did not hardly sleep at all last night because it got super cold, like in the teens cold. So I had to wake up, throw the Mr. Buddy on. Yes, there's enough ventilation in here. I could feel it blowing through here all night. But it definitely beat being in a tent. Tent probably would have got blown off the face of the earth, how windy it is out there. It has not stopped blowing between 20 and 40 mile an hour winds out there. I mean, there's times it was shaking the truck with the trailer and the machine attached. So anyway, got up this morning. We're a little iced in here, and you could see your breath for sure being in the low teens. So we'll see how this morning goes. Might get up and go get a meal out of the truck and see what to do with the day. I don't know if going and sitting on a ridge and 40 mile an hour winds when it's 20 degrees outside, how productive that's going to be. So, okay, we'll just see what the day brings us. Check in later. All right. It is hard to tell how cold it is out here, but it was 21 degrees when I left camp, and it has got to be still at least 21, if not less, up here on the ridge. I decided to come up here anyway. I saw the sun hitting on the kind of southeast facing here, so I thought might be a chance to come up and see something moving after last night. And it is like 25 to 40 mile an hour winds, just howling. And first thing, I park the side by side, get out, I'm hiking, I look across the way and I see something dark standing in a clearing. So get the binos out real fast and look, and it's a cow elk. So blast up elk right away within first 10 seconds of being here. But I don't know, no sign, no tracks. There's snow on the road, like a skiff of snow on the road, no tracks. So I'm thinking this area is just burned out. I wanted to come give it one last look before I called it completely, but I don't see a reason to stay up in here. So I might give it like another hour or so, see how long I can tough out the cold, and then get out of here. So I'll check in with you later. See ya. All right, check in. It is hunt day one, the evening. And as you can kind of see, sun is just about to set behind the ridge there. Got maybe 15, 20 minutes of time left. I've been out here since probably like 12:30. It's now, I don't know, 5 o'clock, a little bit after. And haven't seen anything. Deer, elk, nothing move at all. Trying a new area, new part of the unit. Ran into a guy who works for Fish and Game. Shout out to Bryce if you see this. Talked to him for a while and talked bears for a while, and kind of gave this spot up as one to maybe take a look at, and a few others as the week progresses. So sounds like after talking to him, most of the bears, well, not most, I would say a good chunk of the bears are starting to den up right now. And he mentioned it's going to be some pretty tough hunting, so I guess we'll see how it goes, but we'll give it hell. It's like 25, 30 degrees out right now, and the wind kind of finally somewhat stopped blowing, so it's not too cold, but as you can see, I'm pretty layered up still. So at least it's not. With the wind chill this morning, I figured it out. It was 3 degrees outside with that wind chill, so at least it's not 3 degrees. But start hiking out of here a little bit and maybe kind of hunt my way in on some ridges and go back to camp and get something to eat and turn on the Mr. Buddy heater, I guess. So we'll check in tomorrow morning. All right. See you later. Okay, morning day 2. I'm about to drop off into a canyon. Again, all new area, new stuff, new adventure. So when I say canyon, I guess it's not that deep of a canyon. It's only, I don't know, 600, 800 feet of elevation, so not too crazy. But gonna drop down in there and hike back in a ways today. See how far I can go back in with the food that I got, and spend a good portion of the day back there and try to find a glassing spot. It's pretty thick, but I don't know, we'll make something work. Anyway, when I get down in there, I'll give you an update, but otherwise it's probably 25, 30 degrees right now. Wind's blowing maybe 10 mile an hour, 5-10 miles an hour. So not too crazy, but again, we'll see what the day brings. So about to drop off this thing, and we'll give you an update later. All right, see ya. Okay. Man, just got done on a hike from this morning. It's still day 2. It's afternoon now. I forgot to look what time it is. Like 10:30, 11 o'clock, something like that. Well, what I thought was like 500-600 foot elevation drop into this valley ended up being more like 1,600 feet elevation drop. And despite the topo lines, it was a lot more drastic than I thought. So that didn't come into account until I tried to hike up, and that sucked. But I went on a big old hike this morning down in the Sage Valley, hiked all the way around it. There's a creek running through the bottom. Went onto the north facing side, up into another little drainage. Had a bunch of snow in it and a bunch of other stuff. And I did a big loop all the way down to the bottom of the drainage, and then kind of came back up, and 0 tracks. Nothing in the snow, no sign, no poop, nothing of bear, nothing at all. I probably went 2 miles or better, just still hunting all the way through, super quiet, stop, listening, glassing, doing all that kind of stuff. No sign whatsoever. A couple day-old coyote tracks, just a couple of deer tracks, and some cattle rancher tracks from whenever they pulled cattle off here, probably a few weeks ago or something. But absolutely no sign of anything else, no living creatures, no nothing. It was pretty depressing. So I figured if there's no tracks in the snow, and the snow's several days to probably a week or better since there's been snow down here, and if there's no track in it now, I can't imagine I sit there all day there's going to be track in it today. So just gonna explore a new spot tonight. So I'm gonna go back to camp, actually sit down for half a second and relax for a few hours finally, and then just check maps and find another spot tonight that has some vantage to look out. But we'll give her tonight, and then maybe the morning in another area of this particular spot that I'm in. I don't know, but if tonight, maybe into the tomorrow morning, there's no change, then we're picking up and moving. So I'm sleeping in the truck this time, in the back under the shell, just to make it easy to relocate quicker and stuff like that. And it's proven to be pretty handy. So anyway, it's still cold. I mean, it's warmed up from the day, but it's still cold out. It's got to be mid-30s or something. But anyway, we'll check in tonight, maybe show you a different spot tonight. All right, see you. All right, it is the end of day 2, and I stayed out as long as I could, freezing to death, and hiked into a new spot. Nothing, no sign, no nothing. Kind of on par for the hunt so far, but I decided, what the heck, here for the last maybe 20 minutes I did some rabbit calling. See if maybe I could call up a coyote or something at the very least. I saw some coyote tracks earlier when I was hiking in, so figured might get lucky, but nothing. So this front keeps blowing in and out. You can kind of see over my head all the stormy clouds, but did like a little light flurry of snow, and that was about it. But it's just been super windy, and temps are dropping. I can feel it getting colder and colder. Every 15-20 minutes you can tell it gets colder. So it's about that time. Ain't nothing moving. Figured may as well call it and start heading back out. But all right, end of day 2. I think tomorrow morning will be the last morning in this area, and then I'm going to call it and try somewhere else. All right, give you an update then. See you. All right, good morning. It is Wednesday morning, the beginning of the 3rd day of the hunt. And I don't know if you can hear, but I got the truck warming up in the background. I am standing on the trailer, and the phone is on the side-by-side, which is on the trailer. So got up this morning, thought, what the heck, I'll just go for a burn on a bunch of roads up here around the mountain that I haven't been on yet, and see if I can cut a track in the snow on some of the roads, that type of deal. So for the last 45 minutes, almost an hour, in 14-degree weather, no wind chill, been rigging roads myself. So I've been the dog this morning, and not a single track. A lot of the roads that I drove this morning had snow all over them, and had snow on them for quite a while, and miles and miles of roads that had snow on it, and not one track going across any of it. No track on any of the roads that I've already driven. I went out on a couple of lookouts and kind of glassed around. I couldn't see any track going across any of the slopes or any of the faces that I could glass up. And I just think that that's my sign. So I'm going to move and head to another part of the unit. Yesterday, an update after I got done talking to you guys, I got a hold of a biologist in the region. Shout out to Morgan. Super cool. Talked to me for, I don't know, 10 minutes, something like that or more. And just talked to bears and habitat and kind of what their movements are this time of year and that kind of junk. And, you know, she didn't give me radio collar data or anything like that. But we just talked about kind of where they're at and what they're doing. And she mentioned that, yeah, there are some bears that are denning up. But then in the same instance, there's still quite a few bears that are still out roaming around. And she said based upon her collar data, there's just no rhyme or reason to it. When they den up, when they don't, if they're out, what they're doing, if they're moving out into the desert, if they're staying up high. She said she has a few bears that are collared that haven't denned up yet, and they're up above 10,000 feet still right now, and they've been just staying up there. So, you know, it's just, she said there's no rhyme or reason to it, and, you know, just follow food sources, and that's going to be your best bet right now. So she said based on everything that they've seen this year, with all the acorns off all the oaks, that is what the bears have been targeting all year. It sounds like they're still targeting that. So she said just look for anywhere that has oak brush and try to set up on that, and, you know, best of luck basically. So super insightful, and, you know, maybe gave me something to look at. So also, all the roads that I drove today, not one bit of oak brush. It was just all ponderosas, and that's it, just pines and some sagebrush. So no food source, no bears, and that makes sense. So instead of wasting, you know, my last couple 2.5 days or whatever, we're gonna move. We're going to another part of the unit and a whole new area that I've never been in as well, and that's what this is about, an adventure. And we'll see if we can make something happen. But it's like almost 8 o'clock in the morning now, 7:45, 8 o'clock in the morning. Get loaded up out of here in probably about 15-20 minutes, and I'm gonna head into town and actually eat breakfast, some real food, hopefully, if something's open, and then go up and find a spot up in the unit. But it was another cold night, by the way. I was up a good portion of the night, and I'm in a minus 20 down sleeping bag with a Gore-Tex bivy on top of it, and it was chilly. I mean, it was cold last night. And so when I got up, I want to say it was like 14-15 degrees when I got up, no wind chill. It's probably like 9 or 10 degrees right now with the wind chill, or less. So just another frigid night. Morgan mentioned elevation, temperature, snow, no snow. She said no rhyme or reason to it. She said it could be 0 degrees, 10,000 feet. There'll be a bear moving up there. You know, it could be 100 degrees and 5,000 feet, and there'd be a bear moving down there. So there's just no rhyme or reason to it. So kind of good to know. I was thinking maybe there'd be a little bit more of a elevation to look for, or, you know, kind of what they're doing this time of year with these temps, but it's just completely random, as I'm sure many of you know that are screaming into the phone or computer right now saying that you already knew that. But I guess for those of us that are less educated, you know, we're trying to figure things out. So it's been definitely a learning experience for sure, and happy to have done it, even if I walk away without a bear this year. But it's been cool to do it solo, and 2 weeks solo, and just try to learn a lot about bears and bear movement different times of year and what they're eating, what they're doing and stuff. It's been pretty cool. Bryce, Morgan, you guys with fish and game down here. You guys have been awesome. So hope to continue to run into cool fish and game people. Wink, wink. But yeah, no, it's been a fun time. So other than it being, you know, single digits for half the time that I've been up here. But all right, well, I'm freezing, and I mean, I'm not freezing, I'm layered up pretty good, but if I stand here any longer not doing anything, I'll be freezing. So I'm gonna get the tie downs on and get out of here, start making some moves. So I'll check in with you later. See ya. Okay, well, as you can see, I'm back at the truck in my bedroom. I made it. I mean, it looks like it's bright, but you couldn't even see your crosshairs on your scope if you were out there right now. But made it all the way up to the end, and of the day anyway, and nothing. I mean, not a living creature other than crows and a couple of birds. New area of the unit, cool spot. Lots of oak brush, good visibility. So I took the side-by-side up a road that I saw on Onyx, and it ended up being a dead end. The road went further than it showed on Onyx. It went like a whole nother, at least a couple of miles. I stopped after about 1.7, 1.8, something like that miles. I stopped and was way back in there from the machine, and there was a bunch of deadfall over the road. That's why I stopped where I did. There's no boot track, no tire tracks, no nothing beyond that deadfall in the snow, mud, nothing for a long time, you could tell. I mean, several weeks, I guess is a long time, but probably since elk season. And the only thing I cut about a mile and a half in was a bull elk track going across the 2-track road. But other than that, like I said, I probably went 2 miles one way and didn't cut a single track, not a coyote track, not a rabbit track, not a lion track. I mean, like 0 tracks, not a deer track, nothing other than that one bull elk track. So I did a humongous loop, came back to the machine, and then I relocated into a spot that had all this visibility today. Just, again, I'm just hunting as I'm going down the road, and came across this area. I was like, all right, I'll just camp out here. And so I camped out there for 4.5 hours. Again, until it was too dark to shoot anyway. And until I was frozen solid. I mean, it was blowing 15 mile an hour, 12, 15 mile an hour the entire time. And it's got to be 28, 30 degrees, something like that. And then you add on the wind chill. So I stood out there as long as I could and glassed and glassed and glassed. And there wasn't anything moving. Not, like I said, not a rabbit, nothing. So come back to the truck and eat some dinner, and of course, peak meals, right? Just like from the last one. And shout out Kodiak, another Utah company. So we're just sticking with Utah foods, I feel like, other than my Doritos and some jerky. But anyway, it is the end of today, Wednesday. Forgot even what day it is. Trump won. Enough said. Found out about when I got into town this morning, relocating to here, and saw the news. So now I can sleep easy tonight, other than being freezing cold. But I think I'm going to head out to that visibility area in the morning, because it's kind of like a southeast face. So I think the sun should hit it right at 7 o'clock. So I'll probably get up, take my time, 7 o'clock ish, something like that. Start rolling out of here. It only takes me about 15 minutes on the razor to get up there where that area is. And so I have yet to see another bear hunter. I don't know if that should tell me something or if I'm just a crappy hunter. I don't know, but I killed a lion on the deer hunt this year, so that was cool. So I guess maybe that's the universe saying no bears. I'm not sure, but I got about a day and a half left, so I guess I can't get too pessimistic, and we're hoping that that big hill face, something pops out tomorrow morning. But all the oak brush, there's tons of oak brush up here, but all the acorns are gone. They're all dropped, and I don't even know if they're even on the ground anymore, or everything's ate them up by now. But I guess we'll see what happens in the morning. And then my plan is tomorrow morning, if that just goes south, nothing happens, then I'm going to move to one more spot, kind of my final spot here for the trip that Morgan talked about yesterday. And so I'm going to go hit that last spot up for the last remaining, day or so that I'm here, and just see what I can figure out. It's probably, I think I'm sitting at like 8,000 feet right now, something like that. And I think that next spot is like 74, 76. So maybe that little bit of elevation changes. I guess when she was saying the elevation don't matter to these bears, so I guess maybe just in my head. But yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. One way or another, it was a good season. So looking forward to many other bear hunts. But anyway, I'll see you in the morning. All right, stay warm. Okay, it's 10 a.m. and it's Thursday morning now. As you can see, I'm in the truck, no coats on. I finally got a heater going, and I spent all the way up until about 30 minutes ago glassing this morning, and it was just frigid up there. Honestly, it was 29 degrees at my camp. My camp's like 1,000-foot elevation lower, and just up on this ridge, you're just getting beat by the wind the whole time. And even though the sun was coming out and it's clear skies for once, it was just frigid cold. So probably like mid-teens with a wind chill. It was 15, 20 mile an hour pretty much almost the whole time winds. So I'd say probably mid-teens at least with that wind chill. I gave it about 3.5 hours, and whatever it was, 3 hours or something, and there wasn't a single thing moving but some crows. So yeah, no reason to sit there all day freezing to death. It got to a point where I couldn't feel my fingertips, and I had gloves on and trying to keep them warm. So anyway, I don't know. I promise I'm tougher than that, but holy cow, you can only sit out in that kind of weather for so long with the wind just beating you. But I'm gonna move. I got 24 hours, so I'm gonna move. All the moving's good, and try one last spot. I mean, at the very least, I'm just checking out new country. I mean, come down here and camp or something like that at this point. But I'm gonna try one more spot, give it a day, and see what happens. I don't know, just not giving up, staying positive, and go from there. I do feel a lot better than I did on the first trip, you know, what screwed me the first trip was seeing that bear the very first day, and made me just want to stay there the entire time and not leave that bear. But with how much they move, and you know, that in the springtime they were just non-stop feeding, there was no sense in sitting there watching one spot with how much they were moving. So still wouldn't change it. Do spot and stalk all day. I mean, I just, don't get me wrong, I don't mind sitting on bait, and that's fine. The bear's coming into bait, but you know, or dogs, like I said, I don't know, I think I talked about before, I killed a bear over dogs years and years ago. I loved it. I loved out watching the dogs work and rigging roads and doing all that kind of stuff. It was awesome. So, but this particular trip, I just wanted to do it spot and stalk and make it hard. You know what I mean? Not that dogs or bait make it easy by any means. The bear I killed in New Mexico, it was like 5 or 6 days before we finally treated a bear. So I mean, we were working hard. The dogs were working hard. So, but yeah, I don't know, just 2 weeks solo out here combined. It's been a heck of a trip and a lot of pretty country. So anyway, we'll give it a day. I'll check in later and see where I'm at the end of the day, and kind of give you a vibe of the place. Hit it in the morning if I'm not successful tonight, and you know, we'll see, maybe about this time, 10, 11 o'clock tomorrow, or pull out of here. So all right, I'll catch you later today. See you. All righty, it is the end of Thursday. Sat up on this rim and glassed for 5-6 hours today, and froze to death up there. Even in the middle of the day, it didn't warm up much. So about 45 minutes before sundown, I heard a gobbler light off down in the very bottom somewhere, and then probably about 10 minutes before I left, I glassed up a deer like 600 yards down in the bottom, and those are the only two critters I heard or saw all day, all night, glassing. I mean, there was nothing. So I packed it up, and as I was driving back to the truck down a 2-track, just an old beat up rocky 2-track, I bumped into 2 cow elk right off the side of it. So I saw 2 elk on the way out, but I don't know, I just figure camping out, freezing to death again for another day, wasn't much point in doing that just for a morning hunt. So I just packed it up, and I'm heading back. So I'm gonna call it a season. Man, 2 weeks almost. Boy, that was brutal. But saw 1 bear in all that spot and stalk. So it was tough. I figured I'd see more animals than I did, bear wise, and just wasn't much out there. So either I was doing something wrong, or in the wrong country, or I feel like I was spending plenty of time out there glassing, covering tons of ground, and just nothing. So just pick it up another year, and maybe hit Idaho up a few more times or something like that, just to see what I can do up there. But it was a good season. I mean, no complaints other than just crazy cold weather, and wishing I could see a few more bears. But a lot of cool country, and saw a lot of area that I've never been before, and spent a lot of time down in there that I've never been in that. So it was cool. I guess final thoughts: if you're gonna do spot and stalk, be prepared that this could be your end result. So, you know, just, it's tough, and of course we knew that going into it. So yeah, we'll close it out with thanks for sticking with the ride. And you know, not every trip's successful in getting an animal, but you know, it was successful in what I learned about it. So until next time, we'll see you then.